special day and special video for the Hoover SIX AAA160 AAA Whisper 1600 Interact washing machine, because I'm celebrating owning this machine for 1 year with no faults. Special wash plan for this one, something a bit out of the ordinary. And you're watching Florence Ballard A3060 on film. Okay, so as you heard from the title and what I just said as well, yes, this machine has been in this household and a member of my collection for 1 year. Not exactly to the date this video is recorded on. It was the 9th of January, which would be 1 year, but I'm most likely not going to be available on that day. So I thought I'd film it today. So I don't know if I really told the full story about how I got this machine, because that night that we got this last year, it was about 22:30 at night, and I literally had to get the machine plumbed in, straight away wash, probably vaguely explain some stuff about it. Fun fact, this machine has never had a maintenance wash, because this is always getting used on 60, 50, 60 and 90, so God, that light's making me sweat. Okay, so I'll explain then, as I normally do on an anniversary of each machine. So this machine I found way back in, it was 2021 I found it. And I think we were on, I think it was during that lockdown we had, the big lockdown from December through to March. I found this in East London, in an area called Dagenham, I think it was in. Yeah, Dagenham, so sort of like East London heading towards Essex. And obviously this is a very rare model. Now at the time, no collector had one of these. And shortly after Witchwasher 2007 got one. I might be thinking this wrong, and if Ben is on here, Mr. Zanussi Guy 1600. Did you or someone have the AAA140, which is the 1400 version of this? I recall someone picking one up, but never saw anything of it. So, I've got a bit of a cough, sorry, I don't know why, but I think it's the dust in this room. Just had our kitchen painted. So anyway, saw it and I was like, that's one of the models I always wanted. The Six range are, they're not Hoover. This is a Candy-made machine. It's like the second or third generation of Candy-made Hoovers, starting from 1998 with the Performers. And this programming kind of mimics those all that way. But it was assembled, it was still made in Merthyr Tydfil, but it just wasn't, it was when Hoover was owned by Candy at the time. But for a Candy-made machine, it's very reliable, like very strong as well, very sturdy machine. It's handled a lot of washing. This is used as my daily drive, and sometimes I've done about 3 loads a day in this. And anyway, so I picked the machine, so I got the machine delivered to Kai, the Vintage Boy 34, because at that time I still had the Cassata here, and I didn't have the LG yet. Yeah, that was it. I was then trying to get room for a washer dryer. I said, well, you know, I'm not able to take it right now. That's why if I'd taken this, I wouldn't have been able to have gotten anything else. So he did look after it, he maintained it. There was one video I remember he sent me, and he said the bearings are going on. I thought, oh, please don't do this to me. But no, it turned out to be fine. Now, as you know, the Hoover SIX range, for those who are not familiar, each model had their own unique name about what features they boasted. So you had the AM110, which was just the 6 1100. I think it was the A-class 1100. It was just an A-rated model. Then you had the AL120, which was the hand wash 1200, and I think Machine Central filmed one, who was that Bohemia 40. They filmed one. Then you had the AL130 Fast Iron 1300, which is quite a rare model to find, that one is. Then there was this one called the AL140, which is, I believe, was the Sportswear 1400. I've never seen an example of that one anywhere, except from when I had the Hoover SIX brochure, which I wish I still had. Then you had the AL150, which was the AAA class models. and that was the Fast Spin 1500. Home Laundry Centre 800's got a brand new example of one of those, and so did Crush U2D film one that his grandparents had. And then you had the Interact models. You had the AAA140 Whisper 1400, and then you got my one, which is the AAA Whisper 1600, AAA160, and this is the top of the line model. So it's nice. Yeah, it still feels very modern, despite the fact this machine, going by the official age class, technically this machine is vintage because it's 22 years old this year. This machine is dated to November 2001, and the 6 range were released in 2000. But I have seen an advert for the 6 in 2000, and this one was featured, so this must be a bit of a later on model. They had an easy logic range after this, as well as like the time management, time save models. They were just a run that went from these towards the Nextras. The Nextras are basically these in a different clothing, but in terms of how modern I go for machines, I wanted one of these because the 6 range are the last I go for Hoover. No, I don't like anything later. I mean, I'd get like an extra temporarily, just as a machine to use and then sell, but not as actual collection. There is a big difference in that, of course, because you'll see me owning machines I don't normally go for in temporary ones. So then you have washer dryers. There was sadly not an Interact washer dryer, but the closest one to this is the WDM150 Fast Dry 1500. I would quite like that model. There is currently a WDM130 on Marketplace somewhere. That's the, what was that, 6 Express 1300 I think it is or something. I don't know what it is, but yeah. So Kai looked after this for about a year, and then I eventually took ownership of it. I've given this machine the nickname of Louise because I can't remember what the reason was. Oh yeah, because there was someone in my school who I was good friends with called Louise at the time, and this machine has the personality of a girl like that. I don't know what it is. There's something about the machine acts quiet. Despite the fact this machine says Whisper 1600. When Kai sent me a video of it washing, I thought, have I got an inverter motor machine? Am I not going to like this? And then I heard the sound of the motor, and I said to Kai, he'll probably remember this. And I said, what machine have you got running in the background? And he said, I haven't got a machine running. I said, so what's that noise I can hear? And he said, that's the motor of this machine. I was like, what? I was like, wow, okay, I've got a Brush 1600. All this machine is, it's got a C-set motor, like Hot Points, Indusets, the Ariston Marguerite, etc., and, you know, Whirlpool machines. All it is, it's just a standard brushed motor machine, but with it's got fiberglass insulation along the side. There's some on the back as well. There's a wooden panel for the lid which insulates the sound, and the motor's got this sound insulation around it. So that's all it is. If I remove that, this machine would literally be as loud as the Ariston Margarita. So funny thing is, in Australia, I did say its machine sounds like a Hoover SIX, yeah, because they unknowingly have all the same motors. But yeah, so people will know I have a love-hate relationship with this machine. Sometimes I think, oh, the machine's very boring, but no matter what, I can't say anything about how well this machine washes, how efficient the machine is. AAA energy. I don't pay much for electricity using this, and the water levels, I mean, despite being low, they seem to rinse well. It's probably due to the way the machine spins and whatnot as well. And that's another thing. The spin dry on this is amazing. 1600. I mean, my only grouch is that the machine could hold for another minute at 1600, because by the time the machine ramps up, we only do 70 seconds at 1600. But I mean, the stuff in the dryer only takes about half an hour sometimes compared to, like, you know, the Miele or so. But yeah, I'm not going to waffle on too long, but that's the story of how I got this machine. And yeah, everyone's known that I keep this on. That's because this is the original design of the Hoover SIX and what fascinated me about them. So it's the same thing that I would do if I had a New Wave or a Classica. In fact, seeing this is what reminded me of the New Waves. And personally, we all say this is what a candy version of a New Wave is. I think this is, if Hoover were left to their own devices, this is probably what they would have gone for anyway. But the machine does act slightly like a New Wave when spinning. You know, there's that little pulse we've got in the spin. But yeah, so for the anniversary, I put this machine up to something to see how it works. My bathrobe. We know this machine is quite a sensitive machine, but I'm going to do it on the synthetic cycle instead. So I'm going to do it on heavy synthetic 60, which is program 12. I don't think I filmed that one yet. Because the balancing is lowered slightly. The machine did quite an unbalanced spin earlier with a blanket in there, so see how the machine goes with that. And it's the only machine that hasn't yet done my bar throw. Well, maybe the A3060 hasn't. I don't know. But I doubt, if I haven't done it in the A3060, I'd never give it to that machine anyway. And then we've also got that coming up. A special anniversary for the A3060. 5 years of owning that machine. Machine turns 45. So that's Hoover generation. And when I get my own house, I'll have these machines together and we can do a wash race generation. Right, as I say, Hoover generation future. I don't know how the machine's going to handle this, but as they say, Hoover can handle it. Let's get on with it. So I haven't had a chance to fully actually say to people Happy New Year. Glad you all like the compilations of the last year. And yes, the intro to my channel is the screen on this machine, and I just blanked it out and I edited it to make it look like it had my channel. Right, so let's throw in some fabulous electrifying. I'm nearly at the end of this now. These in they go. Oh, I've got one more wash I can do with that now. And today I'm going to be using something special. I sadly haven't got any aerial because this is what they recommended for this one. So I've got these Persol non-bio tablets, because tablets were a huge thing when these machines were out. And I've even got the net with the triangular bag float on the end, which I used to think was a pillow. This machine is so clean as well. That's why I know there's no need to do a maintenance wash. But that's because the machine receives daily use also, or heavy use, rather than the vintage ones which receive like a wash here and there. Because even with the 9530 I've got to be careful now. Good news with that, I've got an interlock. I'm going to have a little play with that maybe on the weekend. And then we'll see what we can do. So I'll take the strap off that. It's my famous House of Fraser bar throw we've had for 4 years nearly. And it's destroyed nearly many vintage machines. And to make this even more special, I'm going to use this older Lenore Infusions Barefoot in the Grass. Drop the Lifestyle tablet in too. This is probably going to get a bit mushy in the drawer. Oh, it's so thick, it's like froth. Hang on. Look. So I'm just going to pour it in that one middle compartment. Yeah, so that when it fills, it will... That's going to flood into all the other compartments, but it'll be more closer to the front. So here you go, here's the intro. There you go. Hoover Interact Welcome. Amy absolutely loves the idea of it being spelled like that, and I often use it as a pun to people. So of course I don't know how we get this to remember the time, but we have got, when we say we got 29 programs, it's cycles with variable temperature, but the machine doesn't have a variable temperature. So I'm not going to be doing that. I'm going to turn this round to program 12, mixed fabric 60, but if you look at the fascia, it says heavy synthetics 60. 800 RPM spin, but at the end I will turn that to a 1600 spin for you guys to see. What do I want? Do I want that to be? Yeah, I'll take express wash off. No, actually, I'll keep the express wash on. No, actually, I won't. I'll take express wash off. I'll be alright for an extra rinse. This thing does good rinsing on this anyway. Right, I think with that, I think it's an hour and some. Oh no, I actually will select express wash because this does take a very long time. I'll be going off to midnight with that. I do have to get up early tomorrow. So that photo, I'll start. I like this. Watch, we start. Setting wash parameters, please wait. Enjoy, guys. I know a lot of you do. A lot of people like this machine. Those who don't, can't please everyone, I guess. But say, it's been a very faithful machine. It does, of course, make it harder filming with this because, of course, as you've seen, you're getting the reflection of the light on there. But there is unfortunately nothing I can do about that. I mean there, I guess, but it means you don't really get to see much. Because unfortunately it's a very awkward... Oh, there's that lovely CE set motor. It's probably one of my favourite motors, that CE set, because it's been in a lot of machines that I've had as a child. I believe it's what my WMA64 had. Yeah. For some reason, not many of you seem to know that I like these machines. Yeah, hour and a half, so yeah, but that'll drop that down. I only really let the machine do a long wash if the load is grubby. It's just a bathrobe really, it needed washing. There's loads of cycles on this machine I haven't tried out. It's just I don't have anything to wash on that cycle. Just going to top up. Blimey, it's hot in with that heat. It looks nice and warm. I'll show you guys the colour of our kitchen as well. What we've gone for. Nice colour. The colour before used to match the cassata technically. I'll have to update you on some news about the cassata as well, for those who wanted to know. I'll do that at the end. I'll probably forget though. So the machine's just absorbing the load in now. Do a series of top-ups. I'm very grateful this machine does have load sensing. Because the times when the machine actually cut a whole hour off the cycle, especially what Express Wash does, the machine hits temperature, tumbles for a bit, and then yeah. Okay, so we are heating to 60 degrees Celsius. We're doing quite instant reverse tumbles, as you're seeing. It's one thing I love with this machine, the tumbles turn to almost like a distribution speed. Now the thing is, this is what I found strange. Of course with every brand you get export models, which are models... Jesus Christ, yeah, that's the whole machine's plastics creeping over here. They're machines that are made for production in another country. So Hoover have a version of this in, I think, Poland or somewhere, and it's called the Hoover City 5. And it's got a chrome door, and they got a chrome door and lower spin speed, like you're talking about 1,000 to like 1,200 RPM. But here's the thing, these models have jets in them, recirculation jets which come up the side. Now, I don't know if you guys have ever noticed this. If you look at this door seal there, there's a cutout there, which I believe is where the jet would normally be. There's a little like gap in the door seal you'll see there. I'll take this off, you might see it a bit better. See it right there, there's a little like cutout. But also those models did distribution and spin washers and distribution rinses. And this one doesn't. So I thought, well, why did Hoover not do that for this one? They did it on the Quattro models. So, a bit baffled about that. In Australia there's a version of this, which is called it's a Maytag version. 1300 spin, but never seen videos of them. I just thought I'd point that out, it's what I find a bit strange. Some of the later built models as well also did a boost during the intermediate spin. Service Slimline's got an example of one he filmed, I think the H150 I think was it? 1500 one, Time Save I think it was, or Hoover Ultra Care. Now in terms of machines I got though, it's the fastest any machine has ever been in this house. Or along with that Asco that I had. I don't see it for one wash. yeah. So yeah, that's got a very powerful heater. I think it's 2,200 watt in this, but because we use minimal water, it's perfect for the slow. Right, so we're draining and we're on the first distribution. Now this is not a spin, it's just a high-speed distribute. With the first, yeah, I would not want that to spin. That's what we do, it's just a high-speed distribute. At the same speed that WMAs used to distribute. And that's all we do. I don't know why, because the whole cycle... Oh, I think because it's synthetic, so we don't actually do full... We don't do a spin after the wash, so we don't crease the clones. Is that it? No, that's it. And then just go into the first rinse. That's filling for the first rinse. Slide the machine down.
I need some more water.
Where's that? I'll be finished in a second. There you go.
Oh, shush. Shush. You lock up, please.
No, you can lock
No,
up after me. No, I'm not
the
going to.
last one. The last one
Right, we're on the actual first intermediate spin. It's like a vintage machine now, having a spin between the first rinse. Right, now we see how this balances out. Okay. A little pulse. Ooh. I don't think that'll spin that. We're very surprised. There we go, told you. Synthetic cycle's a bit like the Miele, a bit more relaxed. Only 400 RPM though. This machine also shakes a bit more on this floor, so it's a bit more entertaining now, I think. No start stop though. That's it. Sorry about the light in the corner, I didn't want you guys to have that big reflection on the front. That's it. The intermediate spins are only 400 right there. They're for about a minute. I don't use much of the synthetic cycle, but it's probably the best synthetic cycle that I could use. I like the Miele's minimum iron cycle, but the intermediate spins are just too short. You know, that one goes straight to 1300. But then what's also good about this is the final spin. If you're watching something like this, spins most of the water at 800. Then when you put the machine on the faster spin, the load's lighter and easier to balance. If I put that one to 1600, we'll be spending ages waiting for that balance. So. A lot I can't fault this machine already. I think at least it's finished nice and early now. I may do an ASMR video of this one. and spin build. Wow, it's stuck around the side. I've never seen bomb throw happen like that. Right, on the second rinse now. They're all low level. The only time that this rinse level gets ridiculous is just for things like towels. Alright guys, second intermediate spin. Let's see how we do. Oh, she's doing right now. Yeah, we're doing very well on this actually. Bit unbalanced, but you know, what can you do? Sorry about that, a bit out of focus there. I'll go on to the final rinse now. We've gone to a complete stop on this one. Right, final rinse. I'm hoping we flush in that conditioner. I'm not going to open the door for check, I'm just going to let the machine fill fully. Right, let me check. Oh God, bloody hell. This curdle looked like bloody yogurt in there. I think the only flaw is the design of that drawer means that the way that the machine flushes in conditioner doesn't necessarily flush it in very effectively. Right, we're on the final slow spin now, which only goes to 800 RPM, and oh my god, Christ, yeah. Jesus Christ. One time I had a load at someone balance on, and the machine did that burst, bang the side of the machine. That will not spin that at all. You've got to be nuts to spin that. There we go. And that I can understand because that would literally do. Right, let's see how we do it. That'll be a bit better, I think. Don't get all funny with the focus. I can smell that, the conditioner. What happens if I do put that there? Does it look better? Oh, a big moon. So you get the big moon. That is unbalanced. You see the machine handles it very well. Very stable. I mean, even Mum said how quiet this machine is as well. See, with the light I can see in there easily. Yeah, that's 800 RPM. Pretty smooth. So that's where the majority of the water's spun out, and that'll make it easier to spin on the fast spin, which you guys will get to see. Go straight to door lock activated. Please wait to open. No anti-tangle on these machines. Now for the fast. Right, here we go. Here's the fast spin, or as I say, Hoover put it in the manual, high speed spin. I might do a rinse and spin solo program in this one day. I can't really tell how that's going to be. Okay. That's more home we get to see the back of the drum. But you know, it is what it is. Not too bad. I was kind of expecting that to rebalance, to be honest. It'll probably get smoother as we go past 1000 though. I mean, most of you guys know the spin pattern on this machine off by apart now. It's just one straight ramp up. There are no bursts on this machine. Which I wish the machine did, because it would reduce creasing. There are times when clothes do come out 1600 and they're quite creased because the machine's just done one straight ramp up. But what I like on the spin is that every stage has more powerful acceleration. So it's a gradual ramp up to 400. Slightly quicker ramp up to 800, then we actually accelerate to 1000, boost up to 1200, and then finally that last bit to 1600. Spend a lot longer at 800 to keep out of the water. Right, 1000 RPM. Now it's going to get a bit harder to see into the machine. Maybe it will work if I do that, maybe, I don't know, what? You've got a big moon in there. Work better. We do about 40 seconds at each stage now. Swap that back. Yeah. Yeah, a bit better there. That bit always amazes me. And now here comes the best bit. That's going to rattle that, isn't it? 1600. Really smooth. Let's get a snapshot of that 16. I just love the way the water goes around the door, knocks the side panels tremble a bit. quiet that is. That says final spin. Obviously, you know what the screen says. Door lock activated, please wait to open, and just got to wait for the end of cycle alert. Program complete, unload the laundry. That's what it says there. And that goes back, so I just switch that back. Otherwise, that'll keep beeping at us. Press the door release button. And ready. Let's open this as well. And that has come out so dry. That will literally only be about 20 minutes in the dryer or so. So yeah. Oh yeah, that's what I need to tell you about the cassata. Yeah, so the machine, as you know, is with Charlie, washing machine guy, and it's going to, because of the damage the machine unfortunately received, we think it's going to go to Service Slimline, and he might use the machine for parts. But he's definitely, but he's definitely going to keep the fascia and the lid, so that could be possibly put on another machine to make it a cassata. And I'm getting the motor back from the machine, and I think the tub front. So yeah, this machine was kind of a replacement for the cassata, this machine replaced the LG technically, and then the cassata is what a washer dryer will do. But this machine's been excellent to me. I mean, you know, it's nice because I can have a machine that's classic, you know. Technically, I class machines if they're 30 years as vintage, 20 to 30 is classic for me. It just doesn't feel right to call this vintage when it's like the machine's technically still modern. I mean, you know, a lot of these features you'll still find them on modern day Hoovers, I think. Or I don't know. I don't know about not saying that, but the efficiency of this machine is AAA rated. I mean, you know, it doesn't really use much energy, but it's just a fantastic machine, and that's what I love. You know, it's a machine that, yes, can be used as vintage and part of like something I like, but also at the same time, it's a machine I can throw loads of use at. But I am still careful about, you know, running a machine at 1600 constantly. It's why I try to do synthetic cycles sometimes, you know, and because too much 1600, yes, you know, sometimes it does get a bit scary thinking, could the spider snap at that rate? But as I said, you know, I haven't had any signs to tell me anything's wrong. But these machines are incredibly easy to repair. You know, front panel comes off. The tub is taken apart from the front, a bit like a hot point, but it's held with screws. So at the end of the day, they're easy to repair. I mean, and the wiring inside the machine is just so simple. So, you know, you've also got a massive suspension. There's two huge springs either side, a bit like a Miele type spring. And the concrete weight on the top is about that thick. It's so thick it feels like it's metal. So there is quite a bit of weight to this. But then there's another one on the bottom. You've got the heavy C-set motor. It's pretty powerful. Just a pity that the only thing is that this machine doesn't handle substocks very well, as you know. But there was that one we did have where the machine did substock, unexpectedly. This machine's been great to me, and I know sometimes I'm like, oh, I would like, trade this machine at some point. No, I mean, I'll always keep this machine. I mean, of course, it wasn't exactly 100% the model I wanted machine I wanted when I found it. I would have rather have had a Dyson Contra rotator over this, or like a Miele W Classic or something, but because of those machines being very heavy, I can't have them in this house, so that's an unfortunate shame. But maybe one day. Anyway, I've got something great here, and yeah, there's plenty more of this machine to show you guys, but I just got to find stuff to actually wash. Maybe I'll have a look around the charity shops and see if there's anything, or maybe Mum might let me wash some stuff. But yeah, now obviously there's no Now, there's no experiments with the Miele being done here because I explained to, I think, Bradley Shotton, I think his name was, or something. I can't do anything in this machine that makes the machine suds lock too much, because if anything suds come out the drawer and onto the floor, it's going to ruin this flooring. So, and I've got to make this machine last a month. But after that, when I move, yeah, definitely. Battery's about to die, guys, so I'm going to say Happy New Year to you all. Thank you all so much for your support. And don't forget to keep it supreme and go with the flow. Thank you for interacting.
New Hoover SIX Interact with this innovative washing advice center that tells you exactly what's going on.